Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yo, what's good, original crew? I did that on purpose, right? It's your boy DJ New Kid, your girl.
Sierra Nicole.
We back on the channel with another
Kid and C original.
Well, welcome back to the channel, man. We got another TikTok video for y'all today. Another TikTok story time. We got what is trashy if you're poor, but classy if you are rich. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts about this in the comments, because I know y'all will fill us in. We came up with one. And it was the only one that kind of stuck to it, and that's Kanye West's clothing line. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up, you want to be caught dead wearing some man. You know, in the hood, if soon we see some faded clothes on you, some ripped jeans, we like, bro, if you don't take that, bro, that's trash. Throw it away. But now it's a fashion statement.
Now it's fashion statement.
Oh, because you got a little money, you can look po.
Got a little money.
Whoever said I wanted to get rich enough where I look like I ain't got no money? With that being said, man, before we get into it, make sure y'all check out the links in the description box down below. You already know where to go. If you want to further support us, you can always just check down below. We got a lot of stuff coming y'all's way, so y'all stay tuned. Also, we always salute to the comment of the day.
Salute to you.
Holla, appreciate all our comments, so make sure y'all keep running us up in the comment section down below. Also, thank y'all who already hit the like button. If you haven't just yet, go ahead, hit it. Thank you. But with that being said, again, it's trashy if you are poor, but classy if you are rich. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and check it out. Let's see what it's about. I wonder.
Most of me, yeah.
It's considered trashy if you're poor, but classy if you're rich.
I actually got a list. Thrifting, dumpster diving, DIY projects, dollar store hauls, couponing. It's very cool and commendable when people who have money choose to do these things, but there's people who have to do these things out of necessity and shop at these places. Also, things like addictions. It's very socially acceptable for someone who has money to have an addiction, like smoking, drinking, drugs, gambling. But it's not socially acceptable for someone who is poor to have an addiction.
Cocaine in Hollywood, if you rich, you ain't doing cocaine, they look at you like something wrong with you. But then if you poor, you doing cocaine, they look at you like something wrong with you. That is fact. Oh, couponing is look frowned upon. You growing up, you was, you know what I'm saying, growing up, your mama had, here go a coupon, you be like, you trying to look like I ain't got no money with no coupon. But nowadays, folks be like, coupon fashion. I say, you look what all I say. Like, dude, that is facts though.
According to society.
It's considered trashy if you're poor, but classy if you're rich.
Raising kids that aren't biologically yours. I'm an adoptee who was adopted from Brazil. I was given up for adoption because my mother was a live-in housekeeper and nanny. Instead of paying my mother a living wage, her boss said, you better give that baby up for adoption because you can't live here with a newborn. I was adopted by an American family and in part raised by a Brazilian nanny who had left her son back in Brazil so she could make money for her family. The irony kills me.
It's considered trashy if you're poor, but classy if you're rich.
Eating ramen. If you're poor, it's the last thing you can find in your cupboard the day before payday. If you're rich, you just dropped $30 at a restaurant on one bowl of noodles.
It's considered trash.
That's fast though. Everybody in the hood got that chicken ramen noodles in their cabinets for them hard rainy times. Some eat it daily.
Now they just.
But now it's called pho and all these fancy ramen. And I'm like, ramen? I know ramen noodles. And then you find out, oh, that's all y'all eat? If you ain't got no money, say you got no money.
If you're poor, but classy if you're rich.
Simple. Doing drugs and drinking. If you're drinking around your kids, drinking at some party, you're trash, right? Smoking weed or something. But if you're on a fucking yacht or you're in a mansion by a pool sipping on fucking champagne, doing cocaine in the bathroom while the nanny takes care of your kids, you're high class. Fuck out of here.
It's considered trashy if you're poor, but classy if you're rich.
Ooh, I have two, and it's probably gonna anger people, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Number one, van life culture. Because if you are a rich person who has given up your life, renovated a van, and now you're living this sort of nomadic, idyllic lifestyle, that's privilege. But if I'm poor and I'm living in my vehicle out of necessity, society looks down on me. It's really only appropriate if I have roughly, 50 grand laying around to renovate an entire bus or van to live the life of luxury. I also think that van life glorifies homelessness. My second example is minimalism. Minimalism is really popular right now, and it's not attainable for everybody. Because if you're rich, you can get rid of stuff and live an uncluttered life because you can replace it if you ever need it in the future. But if I'm poor and my living space is barren because I can't afford things, well, that's just considered sad.
It's considered trashy if you're poor, but classy if you're rich.
Being bilingual. I don't know how many times I need to repeat this, but being bilingual. For example, if you are bilingual and your first or second language, whatever, is Spanish, it's considered trashy. And in public, you got all these Karens screaming, "Speak English, this is America," yada, yada, yada. But, if somebody's speaking French, Italian, Greek, Russian, anything else, it's so classy. Oh my God, you're so smart, you're so educated. So why is that? I really want to know.
It's considered trashy.
That's a good one. Or any other language that's frowned upon.
That's crazy.
Like a lot of Caribbeans, or a lot of
Poor, but classy if you're...
Okay, this is really old, but kind of still relevant. But everything minority kids had to wear because they were poor. I'm talking Reebok, I'm talking Fila, I'm talking Champion, shoelaces as belts. So imagine me and my mom's surprise when we walked into an Urban Outfitters. What we were doing in Urban Outfitters, I will never fully know. We saw a Champion sweater for $60. And I would never forget that you could buy Champion for like $10 at Walmart. And I would get made fun of for that crap.
It's considered trashy.
Wow.
That is so... Because when I be wearing my Champion hoodie now, so many people be like, "Dude, that's so dope. Where you get that from?" When I ain't with you, I swear, bro. Folks be like, "Where you get that?" I'm like, "Bro, it's Champions, bro. It's just a rain jacket. I like windbreakers, bro. That's all it is." They be like, "Bro, I remember when Champions, you can get that from Walmart." Bro, I'll be like, "Bro, I remember going to JCPenney's getting South Pole and FUBU." Bro, you black, that's South Poles. And then that Forever I Love Atlanta, them felines and Reeboks.
Yeah, I used to love my
Air Force Ones used to be the hood shoe. Why? Because it was $90 and it was fashionable. That's the reason. But now everybody that's want to be in a shoe game got Air Force Ones and white bricks. Well, we call them bricks around here. Or they get the hand-me, or they get them, dirtying them up. Cause we used to throw them away because we used to get talked bad about. Now, y'all rock it as a fashion statement to wear dirty Air Force Ones. It's crazy, bruh.
Poor, but classy if you're rich.
Naming your kids really weird names. Like, think back to school with all, like, the weird names. Like, people who get like, hybrid names. I know people who were named Veda and Anakin. But then we got Elon Musk naming his kid, like, XAE12.
It's considered trashy if you're...
That's facts, though.
What was that actor that named their child Apple? I swear it's a famous person who named their child Apple.
I feel like I remember that, but I'm going to have to look that up.
Poor, but classy if you're rich.
Marrying your cousin. When the Queen of England does it, he becomes His Royal Highness. When Billy Bob from Alabama does it, well, he's white trash.
It's considered trashy if you're poor, but classy if you're rich. I'll go.
Finally, I get to talk about what's been on my mind lately.
Okay, girl.
The dirty sneaker look. If you think I'm lying, here's some proof. This is what a lot of rich white kids used to buy when I worked at Nordstrom. And yes, that's the price, $530. The cheapest it would go is $300 on clearance. If somebody was to see somebody poor or somebody homeless wearing some dirty sneakers, they do get talked about. And don't sit up here and say, no, they don't. Yes, they do.
Yes, they do.
A lot of people that live in low income areas, neighborhoods, they do buy sneakers, but it's only to keep up with the Joneses, to keep up with the trends. Because it's bad enough that they're poor, but they don't want to look the part.
Yeah.
They don't want to look poor. Then you have the rich white kids that's, all of a sudden they're fashionable. They're trendy. They're wearing the bummy sneakers and whatever. And the fashion industry sees that and says, oh, that's fashion. Let's charge $500.
It's considered trash.
Wow.
The Balenciaga big shoes.
Wow. I don't know why.
Balenciaga big dad shoes look like you came out and they were looking like the Walmart shoes. And you couldn't get caught dead wearing them joints. Skechers back in the day. But the Balenciaga shoes look like that now.
Yes, sir.
And these folks be like, bro, you remember that fashion show I DJ'd?
Mm-hmm.
And they was in there acting like they. And I was like, bro, do y'all not know? Like, y'all, bro,
Crazy.
You was like,
You're poor but classy if you're rich.
Teenage pregnancy or like early 20s pregnancy. Because when Kylie Jenner does it, oh, she's just making a name for herself. But if any other 21-year-old does it, or a poor 21-year-old does it, they're ghetto or white trash.
It's considered trashy if you're poor, but classy if you're rich.
Selling drugs. Where I come from, people used to sell drugs because they had no other option. Not because they wanted to, but because that was literally the only thing they had growing up. And now you literally have people with Harvard degrees selling weed. Trust fund kids, billion-dollar hedge fund managers. And then they made a law that said you can't have a criminal record and sell legal weed. They're leaving every single person in jail right now while the richies do the rich. And the billionaires are going to try to control the psychedelics too.
It's considered trashy if you're poor, but classy if you're rich.
Dressing homeless. And no, I'm not just talking about ripped jeans. An example would be how in 2017, New York Fashion Week released a collection that was just heavily based off of what actual homeless people just wear in the streets. I know you can't read the whole thing, but basically, models came out and they carried plastic bags full of their own clothing. They walked the catwalk wearing unfinished hems, layers of coats, and oversized pants. According to the onlookers, models walked slowly, slumped over with their heads down. It honestly just boggles my mind how the same people who look down on homeless people for how they dress are the same people who will spend thousands of dollars to dress just like them. Except it's trendy when they do it.
Right.
It's considered trashy if you're poor, but classy if you're rich.
Day drinking, tax evasion, government assistance, thrifting, knowing more than one language, hard drugs, living in a van, having other people raise your kids, mooching off other people, being unemployed, living in a country that's considered third world, being an immigrant, being an actual criminal, and incest.
It's considered trashy if you're poor, but classy if you're rich.
Oh, honey. Before we begin, I should say this is my opinion. I could be wrong. There are exceptions to all of these, so please don't get mad at me. But thank you for the opportunity, babe. Your timing is gorgeous. Smoking cigarettes. Renting an apartment in a major city. Drinking alcohol at all hours of the day. Living in America, but not being born in America. Wearing jewelry that has a lot of diamonds on it. Owning very nice and expensive shoes. Doing hard drugs, cocaine specifically. Receiving government assistance and not paying any taxes.
Bezos. Bezos. To Bezos. That's all I'm gonna say, bruh. That's the reason why, bruh.
Crazy.
No cap though. Amazon. I'm gonna just say this. I don't blame a single person who ever stole anything out of an Amazon warehouse facility.
Okay, wait a minute now. We're not gonna be encouraging them, okay?
See, I did it. Conversation for another day.
Who?
Hey,
honey.
I'm just saying, Amazon. Well, he ain't gonna know about this. He gonna know.
Oh, I'm just saying,
I'm
like,
just-
I wouldn't be encouraging people to do that. We don't
But no, I'm just saying because bruh went
be out here
in,
still.
bruh went into space
Nah, I feel
and
you
never
though.
paid taxes.
I feel you.
And said,
Nah, I
thank
feel
you to everybody who works for me. Y'all paid for me to go to.
I feel you on that.
And was paying. He was a billionaire paying people $12 an hour.
Yeah.
When I was
had
working
that
there,
discussion.
that was what, 4 years ago? 4 years ago, people making $12 an hour.
4 years ago.
And cost of living
It was 4 years
ago. For a nice apartment that was decent on a better side of town with less crime.
Bruh.
The average rent was $1,200.
Yeah.
And that's for a 2-bedroom. For a 1-bedroom was
I'm not.
No, it was 11. It was around 11. Around 11. A little bit under 11. Probably like $10.95. But think about it.
Yeah, man.
That's just rent.
Yeah.
You ain't talking about furnishing the crib.
No.
You ain't talking about supplying food for your crib.
Electricity,
water, entertainment. Yeah, but you're going to tell people $12 an hour and mandatory overtime.
Crazy. Bruh.
Hey.
Woo-wee.
Trashy if you're poor, but classy if you're rich. Man, can we go back to celebrating how the less fortunate made everything look good, and how the rich are making everything look trashy? Like for real. Because let's talk about the Balenciaga sweatpants with the boxes showing.
Oh my goodness.
But sagging is frowned upon.
That pissed me off. That pissed me off to be real.
That still make me mad, bro.
Yeah.
But y'all trying to take fashion, trying to take the less fortunate fashion and turn it to profitable. But y'all let us know how y'all feel about it in the comment section down below. But as always, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ Nikki. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are. We are, y'all.
Ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partner.